Today, my friends, we're here taking a look at Pekka Bobat at Town Hall 11. We're going to teach you guys everything that you guys need to know about Pekka Bobat, from how you guys can find your entry point to how to use your bats and free spells. Let's go ahead and see exactly what this strategy is all about. So like I said at the beginning, we're taking a look at how you guys can use the Pekka Bobat at Town Hall 11. Now, of course, with this attack, there are a couple things that you really need to make sure that you're looking at. For one, the biggest thing is your entry point. The entry point is a very, very important part about this attack, and it's going to determine on how much value you are truly going to get from the base. So, if we're taking a look at this base design first, for our first and foremost thing is our key objectives, and this is going to be things such as the Eagle and the Multi-Inferno. Those are going to be your main key objectives, and I would try to underline main because those are going to be your main ones to get, your really big key objectives. Other key objectives are going to be the Wizard Towers. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a minor one, but still really important. You want to get as much splash from the base as possible, which means that you want to try and get stuff like the Eagle, like the Multi-Inferno, like the Wizard Tower, in order to get value from it. What you're going to be doing from this is you want to get as many Wizard Towers as you possibly can with your entry, so that then when you're using your bats, you're able to easily create their pathing in order to use the free spells correctly when you're using the Bat Wave. Now, don't get me wrong. You guys can also use a Bat Bomb, which can either consist of a rage or maybe not even a rage. So a bat bomb, the difference between a bat bomb and a bat wave. The bat wave is going to be when you have the bats going into a direction like this, into those defenses from the outside. This way, what you're doing is you are actually going to be creating your pathing. Well, you're going to be able to find very easy pathing for your bats as you move in through the base. So it's going to be one of your biggest things to make sure. Another thing is, with the Bat Bomb, is you're typically going to use that over a Multi-Inferno, not really a Wizard Tower as much. Unless both Multi-Inferno towers are taken down, that's really the only time that you're going to use it. Other than that, those are two very simple ways of using your bat spells, but other than that, it's a very simple way of doing this attack. So just remember that what you want to do is you want to do a couple things. Of course, you want to create your funnel, and you also want to make sure that what you're doing is looking at the town hall as well. Since you are here using the wall wrecker, one of the biggest things to make sure that you're doing is looking at the town hall, and you want to see across from there. Can I get some sort of value from these areas maybe here? So try to draw a imaginary line. I know my lines are not that good, but try to draw imaginary lines to exactly what you're looking for. So primarily, maybe this would be a good area to drop in our wall wrecker. It opens us up to the Eagle and the Multi-Inferno compartment. So that is actually going to be a pretty solid area to go in from. And we can still get across the base and into the other Multi-Inferno if we need to. So that's really where you're going to get a lot of good value from. So other than that, it's a very, very simple attack. Now, you may also ask as well, what depends on the number of Pekkas and the number of bowlers? This is going to be considered upon how the base is designed. So this includes, is the base a little bit more compact? Is there much more bowler bounce value? If so, take advantage of that. I would highly suggest that you guys try to do that, as you're going to be able to get easy value from doing something like that. Now, you'll notice here is that we're starting off with a Queen Walk. This is a really good option if you don't want to just spam everything in. If you really want to take your time and create that funnel just so that then the queen and the bowlers don't walk, then a Queen Walk is going to be really good. What this does and what that means is you'll have your Queen Walk here, kind of move back around here like you'll see here. Once she takes out the Wizard Tower, she'll move in with the Pekkas and the bowlers. Making sure that a lot of these bowlers continue to move into the base is what you're trying to do. And keeping that queen in there as well will also help. But as you're sending everything in here, you want to make sure that what you're doing is still getting some value. So the Grand Warden's ability, like you saw right there, is going to be used primarily over the Wall Wrecker and the rest of the troops. This way you're able to protect them and protect the Wall Wrecker in order to get deeper into the base. You'll notice like here, you'll notice that the wall wrecker is already getting into this other multi-inferno, and that's the reason why you need to save your Grand Warden's ability for maybe even once you get into the base. You want to make sure that that wall wrecker is getting as deep into the base as possible. This way what you're doing is you're opening up more value. So in terms of that, you're already going to be able to get rid of this wizard tower and also this multi-inferno with little to no issue. So that's really what you're trying to do when you're looking for a base design for this. Now you can drop in your bats. And this is really where you got to be very careful, because expos can still do quite a bit of work if not overwhelmed. So that means that they can still do a lot of deal a lot of damage. Now what this also means as well is the free spells. And he's bringing in a lot of free spells in order to deal with the wizard tower and also possibly deal with the multi-inferno if it's still alive. This way what you're going to be able to do is still get a lot of good value without having to sort of, waste free spells. But you also want to make sure though that you are still getting value from them. So stuff like wizard towers and multi-infernos are still really good. If you see them really close by together, then that is going to tell you that that's a good area to freeze. So just keep that in mind when you guys are doing that. But other than that, it's a very simple attack strategy, and it's a very easy one to sort of get under the ropes. If you guys are new at Town Hall 11, then this is a must-learn strategy to learn, or I guess to use. But other than that, very simple attack. But let's go ahead and move on to a couple more examples using this attack strategy. So let's take a look at this base design right here. And again, we want to make sure that we're looking at one common thing. And maybe you may have already noticed. This is the same base. Yeah, it's the same base design. And of course, it has some more max walls and a ground actually 2 ground expos. So that's a little bit different here. So how are we going to see this being done a little bit differently? Well, unlike the previous attack, it's the same attacker, but what he's doing is he's adjusting his attack to make sure that the queen doesn't just immediately walk back in instead of staying in. And also, there's a damage CC. So what he wants to make sure that he's doing is still getting some sort of value, and you'll notice that there is no poison. So that means that he's going to have to pop the Grand Warden's ability early as he drives everything into the base. Now you'll see from here is that this entry point was just a tad bit different than the other one. Since the town hall was a little bit maybe over here, what that meant was he had to attack from this direction. But instead of that, he's now having to attack from here, which is still going to get him a lot of good value, including most of the wizard towers. At least 3 of those are going, 3 or 4 of those, actually I think 3 of them, will be taken out by that. Another thing is, you're still going to give access to the multi-infernos, but as long as you're getting one of them, that can still help you a lot when you guys are using this attack. So, primarily you want to make sure that you are still getting that value that is always going to be required with this, and you're raging up your bowlers, your Pekkas, as they drive through the base. Primarily, if you can get some value from a skip, that's going to really help you a lot as well. But when you're using this, make sure that when you're dropping in the bat wave, that you're going to be using those free spells over the defenses. You'll see that he has to deal with the multi-inferno, but he's freezing it in a way just early enough so that once those defenses get taken out, he's able to easily drop in that freeze. He'll drop in another one against that wizard tower and deal with it just fine. And that's really the simplicity of this attack. Of course, it's the same base design, moved the town hall differently, and also there was a damage CC. So you can see that there is a difference in terms of dealing with different damage CC or different CCs, and also trying to make sure that you are still getting or seeing these examples in order to understand this attack. But let's go and move on to a couple more examples. So here's another example featuring the Pekka Bobat, and you'll notice here is that we are bringing in 13 bowlers. Primarily, the main reason here is that we still want to be able to get some sort of value, and we also want to take a look at the base design and see how these compartments are spread. That allows us to then see whether or not we really want to make sure that we're using either our bowlers to create the funnel or just to send them in. Now, you'll see here is that we actually used a couple of those bowlers to create the funnel, so they helped us a lot in terms of that, and what that now leaves us is to be able to start driving into the base with the Pekkas, the bowlers, the queen, the Grand Warden, and the wall wrecker. So remember, one of the biggest things is to make sure that you're looking at where the town hall is and getting rid of a multi-inferno and the eagle, along with any splash buildings that you can take out. You can see that from right here, this is going to give us a lot of good value with the Grand Warden's ability being able to protect the bowlers and the Pekkas, and also with the rage spells just moving through the base, allowing those bowlers to get a lot of value. And you're going to see from right here, we've gotten nearly every single splash building on the base. Now you notice that we're not using our free spells just yet. There's no reason, because we're still accumulating those bats. As long as they're not getting hit in groups, that helps us a lot. But you'll notice only that multi-inferno tower, and that thing goes down, allowing our bats to easily work through the rest of the defenses. That's really why this attack strategy is really strong. You're able to get a lot of good value if the attacker is not ready for it. So that can really offer you a lot of good value from the base design. So other than that, it's a very simple attack. We've got a couple more examples here for you guys to hopefully understand the capabilities of using the Pekka Bobat at Town Hall 11, but hopefully this is teaching you a really good way of using it. But let's go ahead and move on to the next example. So here we go, guys. We've got the last example here, and what you'll notice here from this base design is that the eagle is a little bit deeper set. So what we've got to do is we want to make sure that we are still entering into that area, meaning that what we want to do is we want to send in the wall wrecker right here. This way that what we're doing is we're not charging into this area, but instead we're still going to be able to get a multi-inferno and still get the eagle at the same time. If we take a look at where those wizard towers are, there's one behind the little timer there, but you'll notice that where I'm circling, those are where those wizard towers are at, and that's what we got to make sure. So you can see that they're almost in like a star shape. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're driving everything in. There you can see that there's a golem CC here instead of a lava hound or something like that. It's a golem. So it is going to try to really, hold us back, but we're going to still be able to use the rage and the Grand Warden's ability to get through those areas. Now we've gotten into the core, so we have access to both multi-infernos and also access to the eagle compartment that we already taken out, which now leaves us only with just, a couple more splash buildings. That means that we can actually drop in our bats on the opposite side and still get some value working our way this way. One of the biggest things to really deal with is going to be this area here. That's a huge area, and actually not just that, but this whole area. That's a really huge area that we want to make sure that we are not taking for granted. We got to make sure that we are taking out the Teslas, the Expos, because those are really going to wreck our bats really hard. That means that we also want to make sure that we're getting freeze value from our freeze spells, meaning that we want to make sure that we are still getting rid of the multi-inferno and the wizard tower, and you can see that being there to clip both of them is really, really important. Now you'll notice also from here as well is there's not really that much left that can deal with that multi-inferno. However, instead, what we've got is a couple loons going in to deal with it. So that's really where you want to kind of take a look at the base and make sure that maybe you want to drop in a couple more balloons in order to take down that multi-inferno, and just got there with a sliver of luck. But other than that, guys, very simple attack. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want to see more of the Pekka Bobat, or really more of this style of videos where you see me here on the screen. But other than that, guys, it's going to do it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, leave a like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you guys don't miss anything. And also feel free to go ahead and join my community Discord. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and either follow or subscribe to me on Twitch. We're going to be starting up those Twitch streams back up in May. Also, feel free to go ahead and join any of the clans I'm covering in the description below if you guys are interested. But with that being said, that's going to do it, guys, for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.